One of the key lessons anime teaches its viewers is about the power of friendship and to never give up. There's always hope. But that's fantasy. In real life, you have no friends. Everyone hates you, and One Punch Man Season 3, there is no such thing as hope. Abandon all faith, because this show is just irredeemable, it seems. Episode 5 just aired, which is the one where I was trying so hard to buy into the hopium that the community was spreading about how this is where the budget went. This is what they were saving all of their resources for. Because the first 4 episodes of the show, it wasn't really animated, like, at all. There were a couple moments like Garo fighting for a brief second where they had a few moving frames, but otherwise it's fundamentally still images. You get more movement if you finger through the pages of the One Punch Man manga. Like, you just riffle through the pages, you'll see more movement than you will in the fucking animated show. In Season 3, Episode 5, this was supposed to be the big one. Like, this could have been a peak fight, and people were so desperate to latch on to the titty of faith that this would be good. Because it should be. But it aired, and I haven't seen a single person defend it. The best thing that can be said about episode 5 of One Punch Man is that it's the best episode of the season. But that's like saying a fart is a little less stinky than a shart. Like, sure, that is technically true, but does it make it that much better? Not really. And you can see this reflected in Season 3's rating compared to the previous 2 seasons. It's 5s across the board except for episode 5, which is a 6.3, which I still think is too high. Like, I think that even for a 6.3, this is overrated. It's just, we've been eating shit for 4 weeks now, and now they served us poop. Yippee! It's not good. And like I said in the last video, I really believe that the main target for Spitballs for this catastrophic, disastrous season should be Bandai. Yes, JC Staff is not the optimal pick for One Punch Man. They should not have been the first round draft pick for Season 3 of One Punch Man, and I imagine they were chosen by Bandai because they were the cheapest option. Yes, the director of Season 3 was not the best pick. This is not his genre. This is not his wheelhouse. But still, there could have been a chance to produce something of high quality here if Bandai was more willing to put some actual fucking elbow grease into this property. A massive property, by the way. I don't even know why they have it when it seems like they just don't want it. Like, they truly just want to just slap garbage out there with it. I don't see why Bandai even has the rights to it. But, like, they still could have made something good here. And there's further evidence to support this game theory of mine here, you know, this fucking crackpot conspiracy theory, because there's an animator named Van Oba, who I think is very talented, who was hyping up episode 5 because he got to work on it. He got to produce some cuts for episode 5 that he was very proud of, and when the episode aired, he got to see them finished for the first time in the show, and he too was very disappointed, even saying how unfortunate it was. So there is clearly a huge disconnect here, because there is talent involved, but there's something going real fucking cattywampus, and there's something that's gone awry, and it's leading to this subpar trash that's being spewed out with Season 3. So even someone's great work, like from Van Oba, is not getting a chance to shine here in Season 3. I really wanted to show you a couple clips from Episode 5 here, because like I said, it is the best of the season so far, but that's such an incredibly low bar. The reason it's the best of the season is because Van Oba did actually make an animated sequence. He actually had some good cuts in here, even though they didn't get utilized super well in the episode. At least there was that. So there was moments where Garo was actually moving for the first time, not just a PNG that was being dragged around like when he fucking slid down the hill, which has become a huge meme now. Like, there were a couple of moments that showed some fluidity. It showed, like, some glimmer of care here. But the vast majority of the episode is still so incredibly stiff. It looks like me trying to get up my fucking stairs. Everything is like so like robotic and janky looking. Like, it is just, it is not in a good state. At points it just looks embarrassing. It's mainly composed of still images. Even in this episode where this was apparently where like all the nuts went, like this was supposed to be the big one, and it's still just so flat. So the Orochi fight just doesn't hit that hard. Like, it is still the equivalent of me going picture, picture, picture. Did you enjoy my animation? It just makes me so upset. Like, the final sequence of Garo versus Orochi here in the episode is like one-to-one with the manga panels, where Garo's in the air, about to deliver a big blow, then it cuts to his face, and then it cuts to him in the wall. And in the manga, I think that works just fine. I think it's very hype in the manga. But watching it in an anime format, it feels unfinished. It looks like it was an editing mistake. So if you haven't read the manga, I imagine you probably scratch your head going like, well, what just happened? Did they forget something here? And the answer is no, they just decided to just take still images from the manga and then just put them on the screen and be done. And if you read the manga, like I imagine anyone that would try and like cope by saying the episode's not that bad is a big manga reader, so they'll give like a little leniency there because it's something they've wanted to see for a long time, and the fact that it's here at all is probably satisfactory to them, even if it's in such a poor, pitiful state as it is in season 3. But if you haven't read the manga, it just looks so disjointed. It looks like it was an editing mistake that was kept in by accident. However, objection, I'm going to argue against myself here. I think even manga readers should be disappointed by this because there is so much cut content here. They removed so much that was present in the manga so that way they could condense all of this into a single episode. This ball of filth, this fucking rancid testicle, so they could make everything fit here almost, and they just wiped their ass with tons and tons that was present in the manga. So like, I feel like it should be underwhelming to literally anybody. Anyone that's read the manga, anyone that has eyeballs, it should just be obvious to everyone that this is a very weak season of any show. Even if it wasn't a property as big and as beloved as One Punch Man, I really think anyone that would watch this would be like, oh, this is not very good compared to everything else that we get, because it's just not. And it's a shame. It's really a tragedy, honestly. And I can't stop yapping about it, because I'm very surprised at just how rough it is. Like, Season 2 got a lot of criticism, including from me, for being much worse than Season 1. Season 1, I guess, was kind of lightning in a bottle, magic that they're never going to be able to recreate, but Season 2 was a big step down from that in the animation department, but it was still held up well by mostly everything else. Like, the pacing worked, the writing was still hitting, the characters were still great. In Season 3, it's 6 years later, you would think that after the criticism when it came to animation in Season 2, that'd be one of the main things they'd want to improve on. But somehow they went 10 steps backwards. It is significantly worse than Season 2 animation, and I really think because of how disjointed everything is, a lot of the jokes and the pacing are not working anymore. So everything just feels flat. There is just so little to like about Season 3. It's just so fucking sad. Because again, I know talented people are working on this, like Van Oba. But there is something in this pipeline, whether it's because they've been resource-starved by Bandai or something, that is just ruining it. And it sucks to see. It really does. I know I've made 3 videos now yapping about Season 3. I haven't been this passionately upset with something since Game of Thrones Season 8. Like, that's how bad this has been to me. Of course, Game of Thrones Season 8 I think is worse, but even still, this one hurts a lot because of how much I love One Punch Man. It's really just infuriating. There's a couple other things I could go on about, but I know I've been blabbering for a while now about this. But another thing is, this season, for some reason, has this idea in its head that if you just put like a blue filter on things, it means it's stylistically hype. So there are so many like iconic panels from the manga that in this season are just worse and painted blue. Like, there's just this blue hue to them. Not even a blue hue. The whole thing is just fucking blue. It's like Eiffel 65. Like, every time there's like a really cool shot, it's just blue. Like, they translate it to just being blue for no reason. So, like, so much of this just feels like a mess. And like I said, this episode did have a couple of moments that showed, like, a decent moment, and then is ruined by everything that surrounds it and everything that follows it. And they cut out, like, like I already mentioned, they cut out a lot from the manga, but some of the things they cut out made no sense why they wouldn't be here, because I think it's, like, very important to have it there. Like, Garo eating the arm. Like, there is... I'm about to go on too big of a tangent here, and I know you're probably tired of hearing me yap about it. Point is, Season 3 is really just bad. And the big episode here with the Orochi fight was supposed to maybe be its saving grace to finally give you something to appreciate, and it fell right on its fucking face, which is a shame. I feel really bad for all of the animators that have put a lot of work into this and have tried their best to make something here, and it's just whatever's going on at the upper level here with, you know, Bandai's lack of resources perhaps or what have you, is just not leading to it being in the best form it can be. Because like I said, Van Oba proves there are talented people that are putting work into this. But something has gone wrong here with the production that is leading to it just not working out. And it sucks. It is really such a shame. The best outcome from season 3 is that they just close the book here. Maybe they just say, all right, you know what, season 3 was a mistake. This is really bad. Episode 5 is the end of the season. We're gonna redo this later down the line. We're gonna remake season 3 here. It's the only way forward. That's really the only thing that I can picture that can save this, is just we forget that it happened. It's not canon. It was all just a dream, and we get a different season 3 later on that's much better. Because again, I just don't see any saving this season. So anyway, that's really about it. So yeah.